Hey, it's the Empire, Geoboxing Empire, Backshot Boxing. Now, man, big news, man. It popped out of nowhere. Now, they keep on adding fighters to this Manny Pacquiao. It used to be Manny Pacquiao Earl Spence card, but now it's the Manny Pacquiao UGAS card. And one of the fights it's a co-main event, it looks like. It's Victor Ortiz versus Robert the Ghost Guerrero. And this is a really big deal, man. Victor Ortiz and Robert Guerrero, their big wins were Andre Berto before they inevitably fought Floyd Mayweather, and those were big wins. Andre Berto at the time, he was undefeated before he fought Ortiz, and Ortiz gave Berto his first loss. That being said, Victor Ortiz, he fought hard hitters, right? He fought the top guys at the time when no one knew who they really were, and didn't really give too much. People thought he quit when he fought him, right? The fighter I'm talking about is Marcus Maidana, right? Marcus Maidana later on went to stop undefeated 3-division world champion. Right now he's a 4-division world champion. Aged in a problem Broner. He gave Broner his first loss, and Marcus Maidana went on to fight Floyd Mayweather not once but twice. This is how the elite level Marcus Maidana was on. All that being said, man, that's just a quick history recap on Victor Ortiz. He was supposed to be the golden darling of Golden Boy. He was supposed to fight Canelo Alvarez, but he kept taking too many L's, right? He never got the fight he wanted because he started getting stopped by Luis. He got stopped by Luis Colazo. Then he got stopped by Jose Lopez after the Floyd Mayweather loss. But all that being said, man, Victor Ortiz, man, and Vergil Ortiz, they're at a crossroads right now, and I believe that if Victor Ortiz gets past Robert Guerrero, which I think he will, this sets the stage for a second coming for Victor Ortiz. He was always one of my favorite Mexican fighters at 147. There's not too many Hispanic fighters at 147 that are really elite. You got a lot of veterans right now who took L's. Think Jose Benavidez Jr. Took an L from Terrence Crawford, got stopped. Robert the Ghost Guerrero's been in a lot of wars, and you got Victor Ortiz. Right now, you got Vergil Ortiz, but he's Puerto Rican. But like I said, there's not too many elite level Hispanic fighters at the division. I guess you got someone like a Jesse Vargas, right? But yeah, so I guess you can pit Mikey, but Mikey Garcia is too small. I don't really think it's a true welterweight. But that being said, man, Victor Ortiz, man, he's always been an elite level fighter. He just been in and out the ring because he had problems outside the ring, right? I heard he was getting through some legal battles. I won't get into it, but he finally is getting back into the ring. It's been 3 years since he's been in the ring, since 2018. So, we're gonna see how he looks. Now I'm picking Ortiz to win this fight just because I'm thinking of the prime Ortiz. I seen Ortiz recently, and he looks soft. So we'll see how he looks in the ring. Could he hit harder? He looks bigger for sure. But if he still can make the welterweight division, then he should be looking similar to what he looked like in the previous years at his peak. Maybe a little bit softer though. But we're gonna see how this whole thing plays out, man. I'm really excited to see that Victor Ortiz is back. Every time I hear Vergil Ortiz, I keep thinking about Victor Ortiz. But Vergil Ortiz has a better chin than Victor Ortiz, and he hits harder than Victor Ortiz. But I don't know. Victor Ortiz in his prime was a hard hitter, hyper aggressive, and his defense was pretty tight. He just, Victor Ortiz, people will think he has a better chin. Victor Ortiz has a better chin, but I think Victor Ortiz has a pretty good chin. It's just that he mentally didn't want to continue the fight. Victor Ortiz was never out cold like Amir Khan was out cold when he fought Canelo Alvarez. Now there's one time where Victor Ortiz threw a punch, and he like, people when they throw punches, they scream to hit harder. He threw a punch, missed, and screamed, and then he got hit counter with left hook, and he got caught with his mouth open, and his jaw was broken. So that's what happens when you scream with your mouth open. They always teach you to close your mouth when you throw punches, because if you have your mouth wide open and then someone hits you really hard with a hook, they can break your jaw. And that's exactly what happened to Victor Ortiz when he fought Jose Lopez. And Jose Lopez is in the bum because he went on to almost stop Keith one-time Thurman. There's just a lot of fighters in the welterweight division. It's just who's who. A style matchup, anyone can beat you, right? Now, if you actually even look at, Danny Garcia, he's Puerto Rican, right? When Danny Garcia went over there to Puerto Rico and he had his homecoming fight, he had a controversial fight that had him winning, even though most people thought he lost. That fight was Marcio Herrera, right? So there's just a lot of fighters, man, that in the welterweight division who are just unspoken, that people don't talk about. A lot of elite level Hispanics are just elite level people, period, that people wouldn't consider elite, that are dangerous. So yeah, man, we're gonna see how this whole thing plays out with Victor Ortiz. I hope he comes back, because there's a lot of matchups that can be made with Victor Ortiz. Maybe he can fight Danny Garcia. He was looking good in the Berto fight when he rematched Berto until Berto caught him with the uppercut. But that being said, man, we're gonna see how this whole thing plays out. I understand that, it's wild that Vergil Ortiz with Golden Boy Promotions, he's basically the new Victor Ortiz. And I think Victor Ortiz, though, he had a tougher way up because he was fighting the big dogs. He didn't have it where, back in back when Victor was fighting, Golden Boy actually had their top fighters fight top dogs. Vergil Ortiz he's moving really slow right now. He's not really fighting the people around him who are matched up with him. So we're gonna see where Vergil moves from here. Is he gonna fight a big dog next? Because I know when Victor did, he was fighting people like Marcus Padana. He was fighting people like Lamont Peterson. He was fighting a whole bunch of a slew of fighters, man, elite fighters, before anyone knew who he really was. So we're gonna see, man. I still think Victor Ortiz, he's been through unspoken wars that you just don't know about because you maybe don't think the fighter was any good. But Vergil Ortiz has fought Kyle Velasquez. I guess that was a good fight. That was a good fight for sure. The guy's only 18 wins, so maybe I'm going too hard on him. But what I do know is Victor Ortiz is not that old. The guy's only like 33 years old. So, the guy has 34. So the guy has, a few years left in boxing. One thing about Ortiz is he has been in a lot of wars, but if he feels like he's taking too much, he'll stop. So I think he's been hit sometimes, but he hasn't been to the point where it's a Manny Pacquiao versus Margarito fight where the guy has a broken orbital bone. The guy continues to fight anyway, which is, career ending because you're never going to fight again. And the guy's just going to keep beating you up. So, sometimes it's funny that sometimes the fighter doesn't protect himself because they're too much warrior. Sometimes your corner is supposed to protect you. But Victor Ortiz, he's like, nah, man, I'm protect myself. I'm done. Funny stuff, man. Victor Ortiz, what a guy, But anyway, man, let me know how you guys feel about it, though. You guys think Victor Ortiz will win the fight with Robert the Gross Guerrero? It's happening in the Manny Pacquiao United Ugas fight on a co-main event, or it's happening on the card, period. That's a big fight, man. That's a big fight. For top Hispanic fighters, that's like their top fucking 2 fighters. Their top 4 fighters right there. Victor Ortiz is probably like top 5 Hispanic fighter in the welterweight division. Whether you think so or not, it's not. You can't name too many other people. I think Victor Ortiz can beat Jesse Vargas. I think Victor Ortiz can beat a lot of these top guys at welterweight that are Hispanic. Top 5 easy. Anyways, let me know how you guys feel about it, though. One other reason why I like Victor Ortiz versus Vergil Ortiz is the name, man. They got the same damn name. It looks like the same thing. It sounds the same. They have the same story. They're with the same promoter. They're supposed to be their darling. It just goes hand in hand. It goes hand in hand. Do you guys think it's a big fight? Let me know how you guys feel about it, though. Like, comment, subscribe. It's the Empire. GeoBox Empire. Peace.